Today I'd like to go over the last part of the chain. As a review, we've already done tape emulation, corrective EQ, the Shadow Hills mastering compressor, additive EQ using the API 550A, and we've done some top and bottom shaping using the ToneLux Tilt EQ. Next I want to talk about the Precision De-esser, the Precision K Stereo, and the Precision Limiter. Let's start with the de-esser. First thing I'd like to do is find an area that was a little too sibilant. So I'm just going to loop that section. We're going to open up the de-esser and we're going to find the frequency that's sticking out there just a little too much. The first thing I want to do is make sure split mode is on. It's going to focus more on the S issues. To the left of that we have a Q control. To the left of that we have our frequency selector. And to the left of that we have our threshold control. We also have a button that controls the speed of the gain reduction. It can be set to fast or slow. My favorite feature on the de-esser is this solo button. We'll be using that a lot. So the next thing I want to do is I want to play that section with solo engaged. Let's go ahead and engage it, and let's find the exact frequency that we want to tame. All right, now let's come out of solo mode.
Good, but cold steel, hot-blooded. Good, but cold steel, hot-blooded. Good, but cold.
9.2K sounds about right to me. Let's mess with the Q control a little bit. I'm thinking somewhere right in the middle here. And I believe our threshold and speed is about right, but let's mess with that a little. That's going to be too much. That's going to be not enough. So, yeah, around 33. All right, let's come out of solo mode. And now I'm going to A/B with the plug-in on and off. And that's right where I want it. You've got to be very careful with the de-esser. You don't want to overdo it, and you especially don't want to overdo it at the mastering stage. Now remember, we're at a pretty narrow notch, and we are only doing around 9.2K, and we have split mode turned on, so it's really focused in on the frequency that we picked. As far as gain reduction goes, we're probably hitting 6 decibels tops. So let's now move on to the Precision K Stereo. Now this is an incredible plugin. Okay, really quickly, let me explain a few things about the Precision K Stereo. Once it's turned on, it is affecting the signal, and that's even with deep and wide turned off. Now, if wide is turned on, then it even further enhances the width, and if deep is turned on, it even further enhances the depth. Even with our ambience knob at 0, this plugin still affects the stereo image. And going backwards doesn't take away the ambience of the track. It just gives you less. In other words, 0 is a nominal number. It's not unity gain. Let me go over the controls real quick. We have an ambience control. What this does is it takes the ambience that's already present in the track and you can turn it up. There's an EQ control, but this isn't a traditional EQ. It's only EQing the ambience that you turn up in the track. With mid-side gain turned on, you can balance out the mid and side levels, and we also have a left-right balance control. This track is really balanced, so we'll leave that off. Where this plugin comes in handy is if you want more width and depth out of your track. It can certainly do that. It does a great job of enhancing the image of your stereo track, and it does it in a really, really natural way. So let's start by playing the track, and then let's evaluate what we need to do here.
From a crowded mind, but near loss, it don't hurt.
Gosh, the track already sounds so good, but I do feel it would benefit from this plugin. Let's turn the EQ off for now, and let's turn the mid-side gain off for now. And let's listen and turn the plugin on. Okay, now I'm going to go really drastic. So I'm going to bring up the ambience of the track. This is for listening purposes. I'm going to bring up that ambience, and then we're going to turn the EQ on and see if there is an EQ change to the ambience that might benefit the track.
Crowded mind, but near loss, it don't hurt. Make you realize exactly what your life is worth. Good love, give you peace of mind, but don't hate me. You might be right, yeah, but this ain't no kind of love. This ain't no.
Okay, now that we've EQ'd that ambience, let's back it off to a reasonable level. So what we have going on right now with the EQ, so I chose 10K at a wide Q, and I wanted to add some presence to the ambience that we're adding over here. We've got both depth and width turned on. So you'll hear the front to back image get deeper, and you'll hear the left and right image get wider. I've also got a high pass filter around 51.4 Hertz, and I'm doing a low pass filter at 18.2K. Remember, this EQ is only EQing the ambience of the track. So once again, it only affects what you're bringing in with this knob. Let's listen again and make sure those changes are right, and I'm also going to go into the mid-side gain. I feel like the sides need to come up just a little bit, and I think it'll enhance the image even further.
From a crowded mind, but near loss, it don't hurt.
All right, I really like that. Let's A/B with the plug-in on and off.
But near loss, it don't hurt. Make you realize exactly what your life is worth. Good love, give you peace of mind, but don't hate me. You might be right. This ain't no kind of love. This ain't no kind. This ain't no kind.
This plugin is just amazing. I really love what it does for the track. So I believe we can move on, and I want to talk about getting a competitive volume using the precision limiter. All right, the precision limiter. Let's open it up. Let's pull the input all the way down. To the far left is your main knob. This is your input knob. This is what will allow us to get a competitive volume. Your output control, and remember this is a brick wall limiter, which is going to be last in your chain for mastering. This determines where it stops overs from happening. A safe place is minus 0.01, but up to 0.03 is fine too. And some will just leave it at 0. I tend to leave this at 0.01. Your release control, a faster release is going to allow more volume, and a little slower release will make for a smoother sounding limiter. The auto function on this particular limiter is fantastic, so that's where I like to leave this one. You've got mode A and mode B. Mode B is really more suited for acoustic or softer material, so with this being a full band track, I'm going to leave it at mode A. To the right, you have metering options. You have your main meter, and then you have your gain reduction meter. You have the option to view input or output. You also have the option to zoom in or out to normal. These are your peak hold options. And then you can select the type of metering. Today I want to use peak RMS. Okay, let's play the track and gradually come up on the input knob. All right, on this track, I'd really like to be hitting around minus 10 RMS. So let's zoom in. So you go over to the scale button, click on that. That zooms in your gain reduction scale, and it also zooms in your main meter. Right here is around 10 RMS. That's my goal. And also, I don't want to go over 6 dB of gain reduction. I feel like you go too much over 6 dB of gain reduction and you start to hear artifacts on any limiter. So let's play the track.
Nothing behind true words from a crowded mind, but near and close it don't hurt, make you realize exactly what your life is worth. Good love, give you peace of mind, but don't hate me, you might be right, yeah. But this ain't no kind of a love.
All right, now that we have the volume at what I feel like is a competitive level, I'd like to compare our mastered track with the unmastered track. So let's go to the unmastered track and take a look. I want the limiter on the unmastered track as well, so our volume comparison is fair. And now let's A/B between the unmastered and mastered track, and let's make sure our changes were worthwhile, and then we can make any adjustments if they weren't.
Heartfelt, not sure what cards dealt, it's a gold rush, at least tonight. But there's a fix and you missed it, but you talk about it like it's something you resisted, but you can't help it, and wrong feels so right. But don't hate me, you might be right, but this ain't no kind of love.
So our mastering was definitely worthwhile. It's wider, bigger, better, and that's what we want. So the next step would be to move on to the next song, One Chance, and start the same process over. And then once your next song is done, you want to compare levels of this track with that track. So once again, let's keep consistency in mind since it's all part of the same album. You know, there are a number of plugins you can use in the UAD format, and I'll use some different plugins in the next video because there are so many options. But that does it for this video, and I want to thank you for watching. In the next video, we will take a track where the vocal was mixed too loud, and I want to go over the mastering process again, but our focus is not going to be overall mastering. Our focus is going to be finding a way at the mastering level to push that vocal back down into the mix and keep it natural sounding without destroying other parts of the mix. So I'm looking forward to that segment. I hope you are too, and we'll see you then.